You're listening to An Act of Courage, a podcast brought to you by Capracare, a global health non-for-profit organization focused on bringing better healthcare, services, and opportunity to the people of Haiti. I am your co-host, Nene Uwaomah.
And I am your co-host, Pierre-Louis. Throughout this season of An Act of Courage, we will be discussing climate change and the 3 steps of disaster relief, including preparedness, action, and rebuilding process. Each week, we'll explore the inspiring journeys, challenges, and triumphs of non-for-profits and the passionate public health professionals behind them. Whether you are a non-for-profit professional or volunteer, a doctor, or simply someone looking to learn more about how you can get involved, this podcast is your window into the heart of Capracare and the efforts of our courageous partners.
From thought-provoking interviews with industry leaders to thoughtfully crafted storytelling, piquing your curiosity, and expanding your knowledge, on a mission to provide you with insightful conversations and share the stories of changemakers who are dedicated to making our world a better place.
We'll hear from the visionaries, activists, and changemakers who are tackling some of the most pressing issues of our time, from education and healthcare to environmental conservation and social justice. Our goal is to inform, inspire, and empower you to join the ranks of those who are actively making a difference in the world.
So if you're ready to be inspired and discover the incredible impact that Capracare has on communities in Haiti and beyond, you're in the right place. We're thrilled to be your guide on this journey. Thank you for joining us, and let's get started. Hi, JPL.
Hi, Nene. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Awesome and excited for a new series on disaster relief and climate change.
I know. I'm ready. I'm excited. It's going to be a lot. We have a lot of great people coming on this season. So I'm excited for everyone to hear the conversations we have with them.
Yes, likewise.
Okay. So for us today, our discussion is going to stimulate some pressing questions, which will provide a deeper insight into the critical role of community health workers and how they play in disaster relief and their impact on the community resilience and recovery.
Yeah.
So welcome, JPL.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I get to, I love baseball, right? So I get to lead off on this new series. So why not?
Yeah, exactly. So what is Capracare's history with disaster response?
Wow, we've been doing disaster response since we first started. I can recall Capracare was 9 months old. I believe 9 months old, and on January 2010, when we had the big 7.0 magnitude earthquake that hit Haiti, mostly in the capital. And although Capracare operates in southern Haiti, I immediately worked with my team to organize a relief team that featured a few of us to go provide mental health, centered around psychological first aid, in which we'll get a chance to hear from Josh Miller, who actually lead that team when we went to Haiti to train our staff around psychological first aid, and we've been doing that work ever since. So we've had disasters since we started, unfortunately, from 2010, the cholera outbreak shortly after that. In 2012, we had the Hurricane Matthew. 2014, we had this big outbreak around chikungunya. In 2016, we had Hurricane Matthew, October 2016. Then we started having all of these political issues around instability with protests, then paylock, which is shutdown of the government, shutdown of the entire country, to 2018. We started to really experience all of those protests and government shut down. 2019, government shut down. And then the whole world kind of shut down for 2020 with COVID-19. In 2021, we had the assassination of the head of state. So we've been responding to disasters ever since. And not to mention all of those smaller storms or hurricanes that happens in between those years. So Capracare has been responding to disaster relief, unfortunately, since we started. what I would say is our disaster relief has three main actions that we take. One tends to be medical relief, mental health, and basic needs. Those three things tend to go along for every disasters that we have been responding to. So that's a history and connection to disaster relief, which is why this whole series now on season 4 podcast is focusing on disaster relief and climate change.
It definitely is. And you've done a lot within those years, as we can hear, as we heard. So regarding preparedness and training for these disasters, you said that you have 3 different response efforts that you do. You have the medical, you have the psychological, and so forth. So how do you train your community health workers? What do you equip them with to handle these various disasters?
Well, we have this model called trainer model, where any area of our focus, we train locals to take responsibility for those things. That's the reason why, in fact, the last mission that we had when we actually went to Haiti to provide disaster relief was in 2010 with Josh Miller. That was it. Ever since then, we have always trained our staff in between those, my trips to Haiti with other folks to become community health workers, first responders. So they are the one who takes action around the medical. So what's medical? Medical is doctors, nurses, and a mental health team. Okay. So when disasters do happen in Haiti, we have enough doctors in Haiti to respond. Our team currently now has 3 physicians on the staff. So when disasters happen, and 6 nurses, right? 6 nurses. And then we have 5 staff who focuses on providing psychological first aid and mental health counseling. So we have a team there, boots on the ground. The only thing that happens through Capracare is when we have major disasters, we amplify our response by bringing in additional nurses, additional doctors. And that's how folks can actually support this organization, by the way, is, not you trying to get to Haiti, is actually you helping us to financially support and hire more locals, more doctors, more nurses to respond immediately. And when they do that, what ends up happening is they already know the terrain, they already speaks the language, right? And we don't have to put people in position where we have to find place for us to host them because they live there already. So that's the approach I would take. We train locals to respond.
I'm glad that you put an emphasis on localizing the efforts when it comes to training the community workers that Capracare works with and your team. I think it's very important that the community workers are from the community, so they're there to respond, as you said, ahead of time, so that you don't have to import them externally from outside of the country. And I know that your training program specifically was published in the papers with your partnership with St. John's and the assessment evaluation. Can you talk about your training program?
Yeah. I believe it's the American Public Health Journal that we were published in. We had a partnership. We still have an ongoing partnership with St. John University School of Public Health, where they send their staff to Haiti, particularly Dr. Goose, who went there with us and did a whole evaluation on our community health training program to show how effective it is. So we use locals there from our staff who are trained, and then they are the one who then provide the training. So yeah, we should probably have the link for folks to get the journal. We should definitely put that on the link for folks to hear, to read about it. So yeah, we are published. Also, we did an assessment during 2020 COVID outbreak about the community's readiness to respond. So we have another publication that's also coming out as well.
Can you expand on that, on the community's readiness to respond? What do you mean by that?
So when COVID happened, we wanted to find out what was their knowledge. What did they know about COVID, right? Because Capracare operates in rural southern Haiti. So we are not in the city. So a lot of folks do not get their news like folks get it from the city, right? most of the people in rural Haiti gets their news from WhatsApp, right? Or the local radio, if they have a radio. So when we were talking about, hand washing, 6 feet, what did the folks in Fonfred know about that? How did they know about being prepared? What did they know about COVID? They've never heard of that, right? So immediately we put together a survey and we had interviewed over 500 folks in Fonfred to find out about their knowledge base, what they know about COVID and how to prepare. And for us as an organization to better respond by knowing where they are. So we did that whole assessment. So that's the next publication that we're going to have featured soon.
This reflects the educational outreach side of public health and the awareness that it brings. So I know that these preventative measures are obviously highly important in regards to subsiding the spread of disease. And is this why you decided to create your WASH program in Haiti?
Oh, absolutely. We have major issues around water, access to water, hygiene, of course. So the WASH program, we focus on educating students in the schools, and then of course their parents as well. Cholera outbreak often is an issue for us, right? When we have major environmental issues or a hurricane, major storms, our water is often impacted. So having a WASH program is very important for us. So we have a how would I describe it? We need to build more capacity around our WASH program, but it focuses a lot on education and hand washing.
Absolutely. Hygiene and sanitation, highly, highly, highly important to
We,
prevent any spread of disease.
right. We would love to be able to provide more access to water where we install more wells for folks in the community, so therefore they can have easier access. But right now, it primarily focuses on hand washing and education.
And is this for everyone in the community or is this a specific group?
It's everyone in the community.
Okay.
So particularly the students. And when we have workshops for the parents, we introduce that as well.
So I know that during disaster response, resource allocation is vital. Specifically in Haiti, I know that transportation support is a big issue. And there's difficulties getting into certain regions of the area in Haiti. So what are the necessary resources needed for responding to disasters?
Oftentimes, the very first thing is access to basic hygiene, right? That's toothbrushes, that's soap for folks to be able to bathe, that's toothpaste. So those basic things are what folks tends to need. Also, I would say food as a basic necessity, because it's difficult for folks in Haiti, especially in rural areas, to store their food. And when you have storms and you have disasters, those things are often not available to you immediately, whether they get wet or they get washed off. So as a result, when we do disaster response, basic needs is often top 3 priority. Now, if there are injuries where we need to send doctors and nurses, that's what we also send. And trauma always play a role, which is why I said the top 3 for us is to provide access to healthcare, mental health, and basic needs.
And how does Capracare prioritize resource allocation and medical assistance in situations where resources might be a little bit more limited or insufficient?
We have over 50 local partners throughout the southern Haiti. These are places that we often go to do mobile clinics, and we're always in communication with those folks. So we actually know areas that always needs primary support. We already know the situation in Haiti is very difficult around transportation, access to food, access to healthcare. So when disasters hit, we know exactly what communities will be suffering or are suffering, so we are able to send support. But the very first thing that happens is our partners often reach out to us and let us know what's going on in their community, right? So based on who we're talking to, what they are saying to us, they allow us to know, okay, what's the first place that we have to go to?
Yeah. As we've discussed before in regards to resources as well, purchasing locally in boosting the economy in Haiti and how it provides a much needed support and spending expenditure within the country, a big resource and a big reason to support local businesses, which leads to employment and income generation, promoting economic growth and development. So what are some of the other benefits of prioritizing local products and services from entrepreneurs in Haiti?
Yeah, doing disaster relief, I've heard some bizarre stuff about people who wants to organize, and we'll even talk about that too during this series. But what kind of help does Haiti need? The very first thing is we are able to get all, I shouldn't say all, but most of the supplies that we need to respond to disasters locally, right? This is an island, so we are able to have access to water. Is this mean potable water, right? We can get those. We just have to buy it locally. Food, we can get those locally. So oftentimes folks would gather materials and supplies, but then the hardship comes in trying to ship those things to Haiti, right? So the immediate response is having store those things on site. And that's one capacity that Capracare is working on to build. We have a container, so we are trying to build to have supplies, materials, equipment. So when disasters happen, we have excess, we have stored water, we have stored dry goods, we have canned goods, right? We have basic needs, packets, kits, all of those things there. So those are, those are things that we can have on site. Those are the support that we need financially to always stock those things. Now, once we don't have those things, then we are able to now go with the financial support, go and buy these things in bulk and then put them together and provide support. But when you are hearing disasters and folks in the international world are putting supplies together, unless you are able to get it there the next day, next 2 days, next 3 days, within that same week, it can be a hassle, right? Because now here you are, you gather all of these supplies from other people who donate materials, and then it may take months to get to Haiti. During disasters, that's not the time for us to be gathering those items unless we are able to get them within the same week on the ground. And actually, we are going to have on our series one of our partner organizations that was able to partner with Capracare during the 2021 earthquake and was able to get our supplies to Haiti within days. It didn't take months. A lot of folks will be surprised that there are organizations that actually collected supplies and they still haven't gotten to Haiti. Right? So we don't prepare for disasters when they happen. We prepare for disasters before they happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think there's any other way to do it. And I agree, exploring these ideas truly illuminates the multifaceted benefits of purchasing locally while also partnering correctly and highlighting the potential to bolster the economy, as well as the self-efficacy of the entrepreneurs, the people in Haiti. Not only can this increase the expenditure within the country, but it adds to the global reach. Speaking of global reach, we know that Capracare has collaborated with many organizations, as you just stated. We'll be interviewing one of them as well this upcoming season. And knowing that every stakeholder and partner plays a unique role in disaster response and they complement each other, who are the major partners you work with in responding to disasters and how do they play their role?
Wow, we have so many partners that we have collaborated with for disaster response. We have had many foundations that supports us. We have partnered with Partners in Health, who are also in Haiti during the 2021 earthquake. They were a major help in providing mental health support because they're already on the ground. They came and provided extra training to our staff. We have had support from our partners, Cloud Lino Foundation. We have had support from, there'll be too many of them to name, but those are the big, our partners from Hope for Haiti, who's also on the ground as well, our local partners. They are also there. So those are a few that I can name, but there's a list of partners, local partners as well. The church also play a role. The local mayor plays a role. The Ministry of Health for us in Haiti also play a role. So those are all our partners when it comes to disaster response. So those are a few that I can name on top of my head immediately that have helped us in doing disaster response, both financially and also providing supplies.
Mhm. And that's a lot of key movers there. So how do you all work collectively? How do the community health workers collaborate with the local authorities, the medical teams, the organizations that are external from Haiti? How do you streamline the relief efforts and maximize the impact on the community during the disasters?
It's like I was saying earlier, we don't prepare for disasters when they happen. We prepare before. So there's ongoing conversation with our local partners. We have committees, advisories. Capracare also has a community advisory board in Haiti that we are constantly in dialogue with on a monthly basis. So when things are happening, we already have an idea how to prepare ourselves. What's gonna be our action plan? So it's not a reaction to what's going on, it's being prepared for when something happens so we are able to take action immediately.
Mhm.
Like I'll give you a prime example. The 2021, August 2021, 7.2 magnitude earthquake happened around right by 8 o'clock. I forgot the exact time. So it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. We already had staff in the office by 8 o'clock. It was a Saturday. Immediately, we were able to respond within that same time, within that same hour. We made some phone calls, had additional of our staff come to support Capracare while they were all going through their own issues as well. But because we have Capracare staff who live in the city, Capracare staff who live locally, we were able to mobilize immediately, sort of providing response. So imagine if we had to rely on bringing additional staff from international. We have a whole database of folks that we have trained to become community health workers. So within that same week, we were able to also call upon them to add additional power to do relief. We had deployed 3 medical teams to go into different areas every single day to provide disaster relief support.
Hi, friends. Taking a pause from this empowered conversation to highlight a pretty big dream we've cast this year. Did you know Capracare is a Haitian-led mission designed to improve the resiliency of its people through community building and health services? That's a pretty fancy way to say that we truly care about caring for Haiti's people. And this year, we're activating community to take part in helping us reach for 3 audacious dreams. A monthly donation fuels these dreams in 3 ways: by helping us screen 25,000 Haitian women for cervical cancer, by training 500 community health workers for emergency response and disaster relief programs, and by providing mental health counseling to 10,000 children and adults suffering from PTSD. We must dream big because the needs are big. Join our global health movement by becoming a monthly donor. We've got a special name for this committed group of friends. They're called change makers. Monthly giving at any level has a compounding effect on our work, and by carving out even $5 in your monthly budget, your gift joins many others to deliver unprecedented levels of hope and healing to our people. Take your support to the next level and become an active part of our mission by becoming a change maker today. Visit capracare.org/changemakers to set up your monthly donation. It's quick and impactful. Now let's get back to this inspired conversation.
Can you take us on a journey of past mission trips of disaster relief that Capracare has taken that has resonated with you?
Oh, absolutely. I would say the 2010 earthquake release with Josh Miller, who will be on the featuring on one of our episodes here. That was one we recall where we couldn't fly directly to Haiti. We had to actually go to the Dominican Republic to go to Haiti. And while we were getting there, our bus broke down. So you get to hear more of that bus story from Josh Miller. Our bus broke down. We had folks coming in to wanting to help us, and then crowds started gathering, and we had to kind of our bus, and we got relief from the bus company, sent somebody over, and they got us into a new bus. Then we got to the border. But right before we got to the border to cross over to Haiti, it has gotten dark. And then they closed the border. So we had to sleep at the border. That's one that I would definitely recall. During Hurricane Matthew in 2016, we had to help this lady who had her entire house washed out. So she was renting during that time, but the place that she was living in was washed and broke down from Hurricane Matthew. So she was devastated. So we had to help her provide basic needs, provide counseling, mental health support, medical support, help her with renting a new apartment. So I recall that very clearly. Then when we had the earthquake in August 2021, she was again renting with her daughter, and her house was destroyed during the hurricane. She was so devastated that she attempted to unalive herself. And so she had a full mental health breakdown. With the financial support that we were getting, we built that lady an entire new earthquake-proof home. So now her and her daughter are living in a very safe environment. They won't have to worry about losing their house. Her daughter has a room, she has a room. So we built a full room house where there's a kitchen, bathroom, 2-bedroom, and a living room. Right? So yeah, so so these are the things that I recall from a few stories that I can tell. Also, I would say we had to, during the relief in 2021, we went to a community where we had a little girl that had a broken foot for 5 days, a lady with a broken back, a guy with a broken hip. So imagine to spend 5 days without having any medical relief at all. So Capracare was supposed to get there and airlifted those folks to get immediate care. So we saved their lives during that time. So, those are some stories that I can recall right now to share with our audience. But, individuals play a key role in those. It's always the individuals who come first to provide support. They go on our website, they donate to the organization. We are able to provide those support. So people's money go a long way with Capracare. So everyone plays a role during those times. But those are some stories that I definitely remember. Well, I'll add one more. So when I was mentioning our staff being in the office on Saturday morning when the August 2021 earthquake happened, one of the first person that we provided support to was a lady that we brought. Our staff literally carried her to the office. She was pregnant at that time, right? So she was literally pregnant. We literally carried her to the office to provide relief. So it's that kind of, those are some stories that stand out. But these are the response that we are able to take when you have boots on the ground, when you train locals on the ground to amplify your work in responding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's so much that Capracare has accomplished over its 14 years. And I know that one of your core goals, one of your future accomplishments that you're trying to create is a shelter, a community shelter in Haiti. Can you speak on that?
Yeah. So right now, Capracare has been in our facility for the past 14 years. Capracare is now 15 years old. This February 2024 makes Capracare 15 years old. We've been in our facility for the past 14 years. Right now, we are in a state of raising funds to our partners and individuals to build a state-of-the-art facility for Capracare that's going to feature an emergency shelter. So when earthquake do happens, because they will, when disasters do happen, storms, hurricane, when these unexpected events happen, oftentimes the first thing that has to go is the first thing that gets impacted are folks' home, right? They become homeless. They lose their roof, or they lose a side of their house, or they get washed out. They have no place to go. During Hurricane Matthew in 2016, we opened our office to over 300 families who were on the rotation for over 6 months. 6 months, half of the year, every night, we would move our equipment to decide to basically have space where folks could come in with a sheet to just sleep at the Capracare office because they had no place to go. Over 300 people went through that whole cycle with us for over 6 months. So now when disasters happen, we want to have a state-of-the-art place where we'll have shelter, temporary shelter to offer folks in additional to medical services, in additional to basic needs, in additional to mental health support. So we hope that folks will support that initiative for us to build the facility to feature that service for them.
Absolutely. And you continue to raise, you're always raising. I know this past Giving Tuesday was very successful for Capracare. You raised $5,000 and then you got matched for an additional $5,000 to accumulate $10,000. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I know that you bring up mental support a lot, psychosocial support, which is often a overlooked component of health, the mental and emotional aspects that are associated with the traumas and experiences from these disasters. In what ways do your community health workers play and provide the psychosocial support that affects these individuals in the community?
Well, first of all, we provide this service ongoingly. It's not only during disaster relief. We provide it for students who are in the school. We provide it for parents in the community. We also provide mental health support during mobile clinics. These are because Haiti is a very harsh place, very harsh environment to live in. I mean, constant issues happening around disasters, the political climate there is just very rough. So that people's daily living conditions are very hard. Right now, you have issues with drought. Folks depend on crops to eat, right? So when they have hurricane, they have storm, their crops get washed. When school's about to open, the stress goes up. Not knowing if you will to pay for your child's tuition, not knowing if you will to buy the supplies, the uniform. Now you have to compete with food that you have to put on the table, as opposed to paying for tuition or new uniform. All of those things can cause stress. They do cause stress. So as a result, Capracare provides ongoing mental health support. One of the unique ways we do too is provide air acupuncture to help with the stress that people go through. Doing that acupuncture treatment, it gives people, children and adults, an opportunity for 20 minutes where they have to stay still to get the service. That mental pause for that time is a stress reducer, right? So this is a service that we provide ongoing.
And I know that all of your efforts and all of the support that you provide Haiti has been publicized in the media especially. And we talk about media coverage a lot. And I know you were in the New York Times and on BET and MSNBC, and even Mayor de Blasio, the previous mayor of New York, was shouting out Capracare and the work that they did.
Yeah, so during the 2021 earthquake, 7.2 magnitude earthquake, we had received a lot of support. Because Capracare has been doing this work a lot of people already know about our work. So Mayor de Blasio, former Mayor de Blasio of New York City, had a whole press conference with other leaders in the city here as well, who supported us, where as a result, it amplified awareness about our work in Southern Haiti. So the New York Times had an article that featured us, BET, Essence, like you mentioned, NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, all the major networks covered Capracare. So a lot of individuals also knew about our work and amplified and support. The only drawback to that is a lot of that support was one time. So when you provide one-time financial assistance, whether you donated $100, you donate $50 or $500 or $1,000, it was for us to provide the immediate support. Medical clinic, mental health support, buying basic supplies for us to put together kits to provide the relief. So over the past 3 years, we've been doing this work. So now when you don't have the recurring, that's where we hit the wall, right? So I would hope that anyone who's listening to this podcast to understand that if you are able to provide recurring financial to support to Capracare, whether it's on a monthly basis or annual basis, to please consider doing so. And it's very easy. I put a plug. It's very easy. You go on the Capracare website and you click on the donate button. It takes about 50 seconds to put your information in. And as little as $25 a month goes a long way, because that allows us to do budget. Again, going back to preparedness, the key thing for disaster relief is how well is that organization prepared to provide the service, not when it's happened. You cannot do reaction. You cannot be in reactionary mode. You have to have already been prepared to provide the relief. And best way folks can do so is today. You go on the website and you put whatever amount that you would like to donate and you make it a monthly. That allows us to prepare. So when disasters happen, we are able to immediately take action. So the past few years has been good to us in terms of providing these supports ongoingly. But a lot of the individuals who did the one-time donation, that's what it was for. It was to use for that emergency immediately. And the good thing that you should definitely know is Capracare does provide annual report. You can get those things on our website so folks can know where your money goes. So you can get a report for that as well from ours.
Absolutely. Donations, and support. That's what every nonprofit needs in order to sustain their efforts and help all those in need. So how can our listeners get in touch with you?
We have a website, it's capracare.org, www.capracare, capracare.org. You can also send me an email by Pierre-Louis, JeanPierreLouis @capracare.org, or email the organization, easy, info @capracare.org. We are on all major social media platforms.
Thank you for sharing that, JPL. I'm sure many people will get in touch with you, and please do. JPL is a very, very conversational person. We would love to talk to you all. You can get more insight on Capracare and the efforts that they make in Haiti. So, as we near the end of our interview, of our conversation, I wanted to end on a happy note, on something different, something fun and interesting. So what's something about you, JPL, that people don't know that's outside of Capracare?
What's one fun thing that we do not know about me? I play baseball. I'm a big baseball fan, I'm a big sport fan. And I had an inspiration of being signed by the New York Mets to play second base for the New York Mets. Actually, in 2022, we had a partnership with the New York Mets where they helped Capracare raise $10,000 for the organization, where we had an event called Honor and Courage, where we were right there at Citi Field. I got a chance to visit the entire organization and run around the bases, and we brought our supporters there for an event. So that's one thing that we do not know about, is that I had inspiration of becoming a Major League Baseball player to play second base for the Mets. Mm-hmm. So although they reached out to me a little bit later for a different cause, but I still got a chance to meet some of the players, some of the executives, and they actually support our initiatives. So that's one thing. Another thing that people may not know about me is that I actually supported my grad school education and basically college, from my undergrad and grad school, because I had a music studio. So at one time I was actually in the music business doing production on the production end. We had artists and producers, the whole gamut, right? I have a whole record label, and this is how I actually was able to pay for my undergrad and grad school. So right after graduating in 2009, I made the transition from music to Capracare. So there you go. You asked for one, I give you two.
Thank you.
And there'll be more. And there are definitely more, but you'll get more when I decide to write that book that I've been penning the chapters so far, penning the outline for so far, basically to write a book about Capracare and how we come to be. So in the book, look for it. I'm putting it out there. Look for it, and you'll know a lot more about these stories and how we put Capracare together and everything. So yeah.
And I imagine it'll be one of the most interesting books, one of the most interesting reads. And dreams never really die, as you said. So they're often just redirected. So you didn't get to play for the Mets, but you still got to engage with them in some way, which is amazing. It's a beautiful story that you shared. And I feel like there's just so many commonalities that you've had. You've always wanted to use your resources to go back and help Haiti and the community. And it's a very touching story, and it shows the success and the longevity of Capracare and how far you all have come. Yeah, and I thank you so much for joining me today, Chipna.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And folks will be seeing more of us together because we'll be co-hosting the season of disaster relief and climate change. So
We will.
you're gonna get a chance to hear a lot of other stories about our partners who partners with us to do this wonderful work for Haiti and beyond.
Many, many more acts of courage. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you so much.